Well, let's take a look at Chapter 7 on routine and positive messages, and looking at an essential question. I think the core question is very simple. What's your strategy for creating very simple and routine email messages? Well, the first, of course, is to plan it. I would not advise you to just sit down and start writing. And a little bit on in this video, I'm going to give you some examples. Don't forget to edit. This is a real example of my wife and I working on a publication together. And you can see all the editing that is in process. If you write it and don't read it and send it, and I have to admit, I have done that too, you may end up with errors. We all need to take advantage of the MS Word tools, and everybody knows that this is telling you something is very wrong. And by right-clicking, it's corrected. I will draft an email in MS Word first, and that is because I'm a bad typist and I tend to make too many errors. And because I can use Word, the outcome is better. Well, time is so precious. I'm recording this Sunday, and look at all the email I had on Saturday. Our boxes fill up massively, and we're often tempted to either delete, not read, or reply too quickly and have errors in it. On routine messages, you can just be direct and upfront. There's no messing around because the answer is probably going to be yes. You do have to watch your tone, however, not too informal, not too formal, and yes, assume the answer is yes. You should be specific and not general. Just give the example or the exact item you want to talk about. You also want to justify whatever it is that you might be making a request for example. Providing examples is always a great way to go. Now, here's some examples. Take a read of this one. Well, basically, I didn't reply because I already found a manual for Instant Pot online. Notice that this is informal, James, contraction. Now it becomes rather formal, if you would be so kind as. But notice the strengths of they could have bulleted this, but instead they put hyphens. And then they provided a digital copy. Here's a short one. Take a read. They've used a contraction because it's colleague to colleague, which is okay. I wouldn't use a contraction if I was contacting a customer, unless you're very close. And attachments are always useful. Take a read of this one. This is a rather long email. I didn't reply. But notice they were offering a $50 gift card if you would participate with this publisher. They highlighted the important item in a different color. Now down here, when you see that, you know if you right-click it, it shortens the message and makes it more concise. The MS Word tool to make things concise. And of course, best regards. It's kind of a letter. Greetings, best regards. I have debates with my wife around that kind of a letter format. But look what it came with. 3 pages of everybody that received that email. There is a way that you can eliminate all of that when you send an email. I can't remember how you do it. I had to do it once when I was an officer in a national association, and I learned how to do it then, but I've forgotten. But this is really annoying. 3 pages of that. Take a read. This is very specific. I liked it. Step 1, step 2, and even within the message, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Very specific. Take a read. This was direct and to the point. Again, the writer could have been more concise if they had right-clicked that. And here's another example of an email that was sloppy. I sent this regarding getting back into the system, which is for interlibrary loan. And the person typed it out fast and sent it, is not tied into the FHU system. So that was a bit sloppy. Now take a look at this from Eagle Communications. This one was attractive and caught my attention immediately. And again, they were specific and they gave you an example of the phishing email. Take a read. Again from IT, because we're colleagues, they used a contraction. They could have right-clicked and seen what was going on here. They could have right-clicked and become more concise. But it provides examples. I particularly like this format when you give a question and then you can list either with bullet points or numbers the specific actions you're referring to. And even better, they captured an example of what the phishing scam looked like. This one is underlined because they forgot a period, and it's telling the writer, you forgot a period. Well, the core question was your strategy for simple and routine email I hope that this has given you some insights into that subject.